Hello everyone, I'm Emily and today I'm going to tell you a true story part 2. I barely made it to my car before the adrenaline wore off, and when it did, it felt like my entire body collapsed in on itself. My hands were still shaking as I gripped the steering wheel, my knuckles white. My chest felt tight, like I couldn't get enough air, like I was drowning in a sea of emotions I couldn't even name. I had spent 7 years loving that woman. Defending her. Standing by her through every breakdown, every depressive episode, every late-night panic attack where she begged me not to leave. And this is what I got. I punched the dashboard so hard my vision blurred for a second. It didn't help. Nothing helped. The worst part? I wanted to cry, but the tears wouldn't even come. I sat there for what felt like hours, staring at the flickering streetlights, trying to piece together what the hell I was supposed to do next. My phone buzzed. I didn't want to look, but some stupid part of me hoped it was Jess saying it was all a mistake. That she was sorry. That she wanted to fix this. But when I looked down, it wasn't her. It was her sister, Megan. Megan, Ethan, where are you? Jess just called me crying. She said you attacked some guy at a bar? Megan, she's saying she's going to hurt herself. You need to go home. Now. My stomach dropped. I should have known. I should have fucking known. The moment I read Megan's texts, my hands went cold. This was classic Jess. Anytime she was caught in a lie, anytime she felt backed into a corner, she flipped the script. Turned herself into the victim. And now, she was playing the most dangerous card she had, her own life. I wanted to ignore it. I should have ignored it. But I couldn't. Because despite everything, despite the cheating, the lies, the humiliation, some part of me still cared. Some stupid, conditioned part of me still saw her as the woman I promised to take care of. So I drove home. Fast. When I got there, the house was dark except for the dim glow of the living room lamp. Jess was curled up on the couch, mascara streaking down her cheeks, her body trembling. An empty bottle of wine sat on the coffee table next to an open bottle of her antidepressants. She looked up at me, her eyes glassy. You left me, she whispered, like she was the one who had been abandoned. I clenched my jaw. Are you serious right now? She wiped at her tears aggressively, standing up so fast she swayed. I needed you, Ethan, she choked out. I was having a breakdown, and you just walked away. I gestured wildly. You were making out with some douchebag in a bar, Jess. What the fuck was I supposed to do? Sit down and buy you both a drink? She flinched, her face twisting into something ugly. I made a mistake, she snapped. And yeah, maybe I fucked up, but you hit someone. You lost your shit in public like some psycho. You scared me. I almost laughed. She was scared? She was unbelievable. I shook my head. I don't care anymore, I said, my voice hollow. I'm done, Jess. That's when she really lost it. She grabbed the pill bottle off the table and, before I could stop her, threw it across the room. If you leave me, I swear to God, Ethan, I'll do it. I'll take every fucking one of them. And just like that, I wasn't angry anymore. I was exhausted. Because this wasn't love. This wasn't even real. This was control. I stood there, staring at the scattered pills across the floor, my pulse hammering in my ears. This wasn't the first time Jess had done this, used her mental health as a weapon, dangled the threat of suicide over my head like a leash, yanking whenever she felt me slipping away. But this time? This time was different. Because for the first time in our 7 years together, I didn't feel fear. I didn't feel guilt. I felt nothing. I took a slow breath and locked eyes with her. If you need help, I'll call someone, I said, my voice eerily calm. But I'm not playing this game with you anymore. Her eyes widened. She wasn't expecting that. She expected me to drop to my knees, to beg, to fix things. I reached for my phone. I'm calling 911. Jess's face twisted in rage. You wouldn't fucking dare. I dialed anyway. She lunged at me, grabbing my wrist. Ethan, stop, she shrieked, her nails digging into my skin. You don't need to do this. I just need you. I don't want some fucking hospital, I want you. I yanked my arm away. Well, you lost me. That's when she did something I never saw coming. She laughed. A sharp, bitter sound. Oh my God, she whispered, shaking her head. You really don't love me anymore, do you? And for the first time that night, I gave her the truth. No, Jess. I don't. She went still, her breathing uneven. Then, out of nowhere, she smiled. A slow, eerie smile that sent a chill up my spine. Okay, she murmured. Then I guess I don't have to pretend anymore. I frowned. What? She stepped back, wiping away the leftover tears like they were nothing. Her entire demeanor shifted from broken and desperate to calm. And that's when she said it. The affair wasn't just Brandon, she admitted, tilting her head. There were others. The room started spinning. She took a deep breath, like she was finally letting go of some burden. Honestly? I lost count. And just like that, she shattered whatever was left of my heart. I felt my body go numb. Others? I repeated, the word tasting foreign in my mouth. Jess nodded, her expression unreadable now. No more fake tears. No more trembling lips. Just cold, detached honesty. I thought you wanted the truth, she said, folding her arms. Or do you only want the version that makes me look bad enough, but not too bad? I stared at her, my stomach twisting. How many? She exhaled, rolling her eyes like I was exhausting her. I don't know. Maybe 4? 5? It's not like I kept a diary, Ethan. My hands curled into fists. Jesus Christ, Jess. She let out a bitter laugh. Oh, come on. Don't act so shocked. We haven't been happy in years. And there it was. The excuse. The rewriting of history. I was happy, I said, my voice hoarse. She scoffed. No, you were comfortable. There's a difference. I shook my head, trying to process this new level of betrayal. Did Megan know? I asked suddenly. Jess smirked. Of course not. She's too much of a goody-goody. If she knew, she would have told you. I felt sick. I had spent years worrying about Jess, putting her needs before my own, making excuses for her, fighting for her, and all the while, she had been out there screwing multiple guys behind my back. I thought about every late night I spent pacing the living room, worried sick about her when she wouldn't answer her phone. Every time I held her through her breakdowns, whispering that I would always be there for her. Every time I let her insults slide, thinking it was just her illness talking. And the whole time, she had been doing this. I let out a hollow laugh. Wow. You are so much worse than I ever imagined. Jess shrugged. Well, at least now you really have a reason to leave me. And for the first time all night, I realized something terrifying. She wanted this. She wanted to push me so far that I walked away. Because then? She didn't have to be the bad guy. I stood there, completely numb, the words echoing in my head like I was stuck in some twisted nightmare. She wanted this. She wanted me to leave so she could be free of any responsibility, any accountability. Because once I walked away, she could wear the mask of a victim, and it would be my fault for leaving her when she was struggling. But I was done. I felt a strange sense of clarity in that moment. She had made her choice, and I had to make mine. I could stay here, locked in this sick cycle, or I could walk out and never look back. I'm done, Jess, I said, finally finding my voice. I can't keep doing this. Her eyes flickered for a moment, but her face quickly returned to its calm, almost bored expression. Fine. Go ahead. Walk out the door. You'll be back eventually. I shook my head. No. I won't. I've had enough. This marriage is over. The words tasted bitter coming out of my mouth, but they were true. I had spent so long trying to save something that was already dead. I had let her drag me into her chaos, believing that love would be enough to fix it, to fix her. But love isn't a fix. And it isn't a one-way street. I grabbed my keys, turning toward the door, and I could feel her eyes on me the entire time. "Go then," she said, her voice cold and dismissive. "But you'll regret it. You'll see. You won't find anyone better than me." I stopped for a second, looking back at her, and for the first time in years, I finally saw her for what she was. Not a broken woman who needed saving, but someone who had manipulated me for far too long. "No, Jess," I said, my voice steady. "I'll be just fine." I left the house without another word, the door closing behind me like the final nail in a coffin. I didn't go home. I didn't go anywhere familiar. I just drove. I needed space. I needed time to process everything. The anger, the hurt, the years of wasted love. I found myself at a bar, not far from where I grew up. The kind of place where you didn't need to dress up, where people didn't know your name, and where no one expected anything from you. I sat at the bar with a whiskey in front of me, staring into the glass like it held the answers to everything. And maybe, for the first time in a long while, I started to feel a little bit of relief. I wasn't going back. I wasn't fixing anything anymore. I had to move forward. And that's what I did. Thank you very much, see you in the next video.